Moving on, spot on, spot off. NASCAR's decision to not start the race in the rain because of puddling track conditions. TJ.
Oh boy.
I am
easy.
We were not ready to start that race then. In my opinion, we shouldn't even have got in the cars at that point.
Whoa. Did he?
He just had an opinion that actually is fact.
Well, I mean, it was raining when I was putting my radios on. It was raining hard.
Yes, it was.
And there's the river running down the S's. The front stretch was a river, and yeah. So I'm all for starting a race with the track being wet, but we can't race with.
What do you think the visibility would have been had we gone green down that back stretch? For the guy running fifth, not to mention the guy running 35th, back there where the Tilly guy was, Keely or whatever.
So it would have been very bad, and
very bad. It would have been non-existent.
The track's very narrow. I mean, that track's pretty narrow on that backstretch. I don't think it's very wide.
No.
So,
and you're going into the bus stop.
Yeah, it's not that fast.
A lot of runoff room. I just think when I'm all for racing in the rain. Either if we were already racing and that rain started and we were keeping the track somewhat blown off from the cars like we were at COTA that one time, we're already rolling, everything's going. But if you stop the race at all and the water has a chance to sit, we can't race like that.
What changed from the time we loaded the drivers in the cars to get ready to go to the green?
Yeah.
And to the time that we decided we're not going green, come down pit road. What changed?
The shirt under my rain jacket got moist.
What changed?
More
Nothing.
moist.
Nothing changed.
It's
Here's
same.
my problem. We are a national sport, international sport, especially this week.
Yeah.
And so I go back to the dirt race. It's like we don't know at times. We look like at times we don't know what we're doing. At the dirt race was a prime example. We went out there and we were freaking clogging up the grills, and we went to single file restarts because people couldn't see for the dust. Like, we don't know what we don't know, but there are people that do know. If you had hired Tony Stewart to be a consultant at the dirt track, Casey, do you think he would have helped us not make so many mistakes from an operations standpoint?
Yes.
Do you think if Ron Fellows or Boris Said was in the pace car yesterday with Kip or was in the booth yesterday with the NASCAR executives that he would have helped him realize, hey, this is a bad idea. Don't do this?
Yes.
Were your guys thumbs up or thumbs down?
My guy said it ain't going to get any better. So he said it's only getting worse. So you might as well throw the yellow flag, throw the green flag.
It isn't about the drivers, TJ. Believe it or not.
I'm just saying. I was screaming what they thought. About the
I didn't ask my guy because I mean, what are we doing out there? I mean, I'm seeing the river run across the front stretch that you're referencing. I'm seeing the standing water in the bus stop. I'm hearing drivers, based on spotter feedback around me, talking about their hydroplaning in the S's, and it's not even green yet. Like, I don't understand why we loaded the drivers and attempted to go. I'm all for racing in light rain. I'm all for racing when the track is wet. I am not for attempting to go green in that scenario just to appease TV.
Yeah.
And that's what the hell I think NASCAR had to bow down to, is TV's probably standing at the door knocking on, we got to go, man, we got to go. We've already missed our window. We're an hour late. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And they load them up, and we do the show, and we go, never mind.
Yeah, I'm all for the idea of putting on a show of racing in the rain. But
ended up being good when we started.
You cannot race in a steady to heavy rain because, like TJ said, the second we have a caution flag, that same scenario, if it's sunny out when we start racing yesterday and it starts to rain, we're going to be fine for a while. But as soon as we have a stage break or a caution, the standing water is going to build up. And like yesterday, they're like, okay, we're just trying to move some of this standing water. Well, I don't know if you realize, but there's gallons of it falling from the sky while you're trying to move it. So it's not going to go anywhere right now.
Yeah.
So I think we just need to scrap the idea. We just looked like we had no clue what we're doing yesterday. Okay, load everybody up. Let's go out there and run. All right, we're coming to green. Oh, never mind. No, we're not coming to green. You know what? All right, let's make 2 more parade laps. Let's just bring them down pit road and get them out. Like, what we just looked like we had no clue what we were doing yesterday. We just need to scrap the idea of racing in a heavy rain, or a steady rain even. We saw COTA was a disaster last year. You know, I mean, how many big wrecks, how many guys almost got hurt because we're racing where guys can't see because it's a driving rain and there's standing water. I mean, the
One guy
visibility
lives,
was
another guy don't.
Yeah, their visibility was a bigger issue than any of the water last year. This year, obviously, the standing water, they knew they couldn't really race like that. My guy, I had Scott Tapley on the S's. He's like literally, there's a river running down the curb in the S's right now. We've seen guys on the racetrack, like I don't even know what that guy was doing, like trying to unclog drains or something. We've seen him out there with a big pole.
Digging. Yeah.
I don't know what the hell he was doing, but it's just like let's just scrap the idea of starting a race in the rain. And if it's a heavy rain, we just can't do it. Like
A
we're
light
just
rain
not
we
doing.
could.
Yeah, well, light rain. If the track's wet, we can do it. We saw how the racing was good when we started yesterday.
You named who you thought were 3 very, very good road racers earlier in the show. Why didn't you put them in the pace car? And why didn't you go right around the racetrack and say, hey, what do you guys think?
Yeah. I mean, you've got AJ Allmendinger sitting there. AJ, hey, before you get in this car, jump in here. Let's make a lap. And what does this look like to you? And if you see a little bit of puddling at that point, you know it's raining its ass off. Like it's going to get worse in the next 5 minutes. By the time you get back around, it's only getting worse.
We talk about it all the time. Like, just give me transparency. Come on, get on TV, get on MRN, and say, hey, we thought we could go. We can't go. As soon as we can go, we will go. Like, we still get no communication. Bring drivers pit road. Tell them to sit in their cars. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, like you said, we look unprepared, and
You just can't race.
we can't do that.
The biggest issue is the water on the track. That's the unsafest part.
Well, I think
Guess
the
what? It's not going
visibility.
away while it's still raining.
yeah.
The visibility would have been the biggest issue
But
if we went
that
green.
comes from the water laying on the track, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if there's standing water or a river running down the track, it's going to cross the track at some point. We probably shouldn't.
It's just a bad idea.
I thought when we started the race was awesome.
Yeah. I think
that's
if you
fun
have
as
a
hell.
wet race, like when the second you could just say, hey, as soon as it stops raining, we're going to move some of this water and we're going
Yep.
green. That's all you had to say yesterday.
Yeah.
And we put on a good show. And even if it started raining lightly at some point in that little run, we're good. You know,
Even the single file deal was
Yeah.
was
I got
perfect.
frustrated. I took
way.
my headset off because I
I
was
find it
pissed
hard to
off.
believe.
Yeah, me too.
And then I got more frustrated when nobody said anything publicly. Like, hey, here's our strategy. Let's just all sit around here and wait. Like, that drives me bananas.
Talk about frustrated. Tomorrow, are you going to test tomorrow? Tomorrow, we're going to Martinsville to test for 2 days. Me, a bunch of guys. I think it's pretty much every organization is bringing a car.
That's cool.
The rumor is the last 2 hours of the test in Martinsville on Wednesday, because we're test tomorrow and Wednesday, is going to be they're going to wet the track down and run wet water or wet tire testing in Martinsville.
Let me ask you 2 things on that.
It's weird. We're going to have an electrical issue or something.
I think everybody's going to have an electric.
Let me ask you 2 things on that. Number 1, is it fair to say this is a science project?
100% experiment.
Okay, whose science project is it?
NASCAR's.
Okay, who's paying for the science project? If you wreck a car,
Not NASCAR.
who's paying a tire bill to go out there and run these tires?
That I don't know. That might be NASCAR.
All right, so first thing is it's a science project the teams are ultimately funding. The second thing is, did you see how fast that track dried yesterday when it was soaking wet?
Yeah.
Did you see how fast people put slicks on? So if you have 20 cars at Martinsville and the racetrack is damp, how long is it going to take for them to need to put slicks on?
5 laps.
Dude,
5 laps, which is crazy. How fast can you dry a wet Martinsville racetrack? If the weather's okay, not like super cloudy, but okay. How fast?
45 minutes.
Okay, this seems like a waste of time and money to me.
Like, and listen, the rumor is, and this is just a rumor. I haven't talked to my guys about it yet, but there is a lot of teams that said, no, we're not doing that.
There's
because
a driver I know that said,
there's one driver that said, you can go to hell. Like, yeah, I'm not
I
doing
wonder
that.
which one that is.
Not my guy.
No.
He drives a Ford. I can tell you that much.
Okay.
But not only are the cars super expensive, right?
Won 2 races this year back to back.
I already knew who you're talking about.
Not only are the cars expensive, right? I mean, we've already determined these cars, the cost of these cars is pretty ridiculous. But on top of the cost of the car, now you're bolting probably $100,000 worth of data acquisition on there as well. Or, I don't know exactly what it costs, but I assure you it's a lot of money worth of data.
There's a lot of sensors on that
A lot of
thing.
sensors on that thing. And you're going to go out there and run around in the rain. I don't think anybody's going to willingly sign up for that.
I just want to know how fast it's truly going to dry if you put 10 cars
I'll
out
tell you
there.
tomorrow, or I'll tell you Wednesday.
Yeah, just
I don't know who's Bubba would do it. Bubba would do it. He don't care. It's not
I
his
personally
car.
think it, and look, this sounds crazy. Don't do it at Martinsville, but do it at Charlotte. But we see on the Roval, we see at Daytona when we watch these guys road race, they can go on the banking with it wet.
But to your point, the banking is dry. Like even that monsoon of a Roval race we had a couple years ago, like the banking was drying out 10 times as fast as
Super fast.
the infield was.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just.
I'll tell you what I was really surprised with when Chris put those dry tires on. I thought
You
it was
mean Christopher?
When Christopher put those tires on, I thought it was too early.
So
Run the All-Star race at Martinsville with the sprinklers on the whole time, full field. Everybody makes it. $1 million payday. I'm in.
I mean, I got a crazy idea. I don't know.
That's most of them, really.
This is like, how about we just don't race in the f***ing rain? Like, what? I mean, let's try that.
Lenny was my spotter yesterday, and he literally said, just
Lenny.
because you can race in the rain don't mean you should. It's time for you to sell your home and make that big move. Let our friends at OfferPad remove all the worry and hassle. Get started today at OfferPad.com.